Hey, what's good? Jiba Molei Anderson is an illustrator, designer, writer, educator, publisher, and the owner of his own independent comic book company called Griot Enterprises. He's the perfect reminder to creatives to own your own masters. Personally, I've called Jiba a dear friend of mine for over 20 years. This is my conversation with Jiba Molei Anderson. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. I wanted to introduce you to one of the most creative people I've ever met, Jiba Molei Anderson.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
hi.
you. Thank you for bringing me.
So, uh, you guys, I had to cut him off because every time we get to talking, it just continues to go, and he just continues to drop knowledge. And I wanted you guys to be a part of that. So, Jiba, welcome to the channel.
Well, thank you for having me, Carlos. It's been a minute. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you, man. Always,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure.
I want to say the last time I saw you was on the L in Chicago.
In person?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sitting there and then some dude was like staring at me funny. So I looked up and it was you. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I didn't have the energy to knock anybody out.
I'm not trying to get swung on. I'm not trying to get accidentally swung on. All right. Just put it that way.
Yeah. And your face always brings me peace. Just because I know the person that you are and the person that you're trying to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
With that being said, tell the people who you are.
Okay. Yeah, because Carlos knows me, but for the rest of y'all, my name is Jiba Molei Anderson. I am an artist, writer, designer, and educator and publisher for the company Griot Enterprises, which is my company. I'm also the creator of its flagship title, The Horsemen, and the curator of the 4 pages, 16 bars of visual mixtape anthology series, which has been the longest running anthology series focusing on independent works from creators of color.
Excellent. And we met because we both worked were you working at Illinois Institute of Art?
Yep.
When I was in school, or did we meet when I was working there?
We met when you were working there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's like a lifetime ago.
That's such a lifetime ago. The school doesn't even exist anymore.
They knocked down the building and everything.
It's salted like gone. Damn.
You know what's funny is like it was Ernesto and Jared and like all these folks that we used to go to school with and hang out with and work with. Like all of them were sending me pictures of them knocking this building down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gone. I still have former students like hitting me up every once in a blue moon. It's like, school is gone. I'm like, yeah, it's gone.
All the way gone.
It's gone.
You can park on it.
You're right. Where it used to be.
So let me tell you this. I did that 23andMe thing, and it told me that I had quite a bit of West African in me.
Okay.
And I said, get out. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
And through that, there's a term that you've been using that, again, I learned and I identify with, and that's griot.
Mm-hmm.
And so explain to folks what a griot is.
Quite simply, a griot is a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
That is the name for these people from Ghana, and what they would do, they would be the caretakers of a region's history, and they would go from place to place, people to people. I would say community to community, not tribe to tribe, and they would go about telling stories, right, about the history of the people and the stories, because it's living history. I mean, it would adapt and it would change and it would adjust itself to the needs of the people that these storytellers were speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it came time for me, these many years ago, to name my company and my brand, I had to go back home, if you will. I had to go back to the source.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, that's what I do. I talked about all those slashes and stuff like that, but what it boils down to is that I'm a storyteller.
Yep.
And so that is my purpose in everything I do, whether it's when I'm making comics, whether it's when I'm teaching a class, whether I'm doing a new mix for my podcast radio show, Ghetto of the Mind. It's like I'm always telling stories, you know,
Mm.
and giving the people not necessarily what they want, but hopefully what they need.
Tell me more about Ghetto of the Mind.
So Ghetto of the Mind, that's just back in my undergrad days. I had a radio show on WCBN FM in Ann Arbor from midnight to 3. And that show was titled Ghetto of the Mind after the classic track Ghettos of the Mind by P Rock and CL Smooth. And so that just became the title of my radio show. Um,
Mm.
I was in my hip hop bag, then, in my jazz bag, like my R&B bag, like I was
Yeah.
all about just creating this soundscape, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the whole philosophy is that, the ghetto is not a place, it's a culture, right? And
Mm.
it's not a
Mm.
negative culture.
Mm-hmm.
So showing the beauty of that culture. And then years later, I mean, this is what happens when you are like nested in like the Detroit techno and then later the Chicago house music scene. Like you're around all these DJs and you wind up picking it up again. And so it was like, God, I'm almost it's almost been 20 years of that. So I started doing a podcast on iTunes and it's a straight up mixtape. You know what I mean? So Ghetto of
Oh,
the
dope.
Mind. Yeah, Ghetto of the Mind, you can find it on iTunes. Last episode that the most recent episode that's up there right now, Defiance, that's all hip hop. If you go back a couple of episodes and they're up there right now, the episode titled Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in parentheses, Jiba's Groove, that's me going back to making beats. So that's all like original, that's me getting back in my sampling bag and making beats again, stuff like
Oh, nice.
that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know Pugs Adams?
I know of Pugs Adams. I don't know Pugs personally.
Yeah. He's coming on the show tomorrow. We're recording tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And this, the more you talk, the more I think you guys need to connect.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Because he's just like that. He makes music. He just came out with a new album that is straight fire.
Okay.
And he paints and he draws and he does fashion and he's one of the more creative people that I know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we might have to make that little connection just to see. And he's in Chicago. He's based in Chicago.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I'm always open to connecting with other creatives and stuff like that, chopping it up.
Yeah.
See what comes of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So Ghetto of the Mind podcast, you said that you went from Detroit to Chicago. You're originally from Detroit?
Yeah, born and raised in Detroit.
Yeah.
So, yep, born and raised.
How you feel about, are you still rooting for Lions or are you Bears guy?
See, I'm not a sports guy in general, but the Lions. The Lions are like what the Cubs kind of used to be in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
you're gonna get your ass whooped every Thanksgiving.
It's like one of the recent years, it's like y'all so close, but it's so far. Yeah. Like come on. Just one time. Come on. It happened again this year. Like, come on, man. Come on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
And then we got Ben Johnson, and now we're back.
yeah.
The Bears are going to be a problem for a while now. I'm excited.
Okay, okay. Well, you know, they're discussing like trying to move the Bears to Indiana. I'm like, that's not going.
That's going to be the worst decision they make. They
That
need to go ahead and figure that out.
or even I'm sorry, even trying to bring them up to Arlington Heights. I'm like, come on now. Come on.
Yeah. See, I'm a little more flexible with Arlington Heights because from what I understand, they're trying to build the same um aura as Wrigleyville. When you go to Wrigleyville,
Yeah,
it's you can
Wrigley.
party, you go to the game and you go and you finish partying after the game,
Right, right.
right? And everything is in a controlled area.
Just like how Detroit is now with all their sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, with all their sports teams. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you go play, you know, go watch basketball game, football game, then you can step out of Woodward, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, go up and down, you know, downtown to, you know, Detroit and like hit up the strip and, you know, get your party on. And talking about my hometown right now, downtown Detroit, it's kind of got downtown Chicago beat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just just in terms of vibe, just visually, you know, because you know, I'm the son of an architect, so architecture, like, you know, you know what I'm saying, all about it.
Yeah.
But just the way that Detroit is like really, really stepped its design game up in like its city design game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can go down kind of corridors and explore stuff, and then there's like street art up there, and it's like it's
Oh,
real.
nice.
It's real sexy. It's real sexy out there right
Back when I was at Leo Burnett, um, I don't even remember who it was, but I got an email from someone in Detroit, in the government of Detroit, saying, if you move to Detroit, we'll help you start a creative business.
now. Hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but that's Detroit.
But you know what? But
But
that
this is back when Detroit was trying to come back
yeah,
from all the automobiles, all the
right.
manufacturing stuff. That was like after.
So this was like early, what, late 90s, early aughts? That kind of
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, because around that time, I mean that's when I was really coming up in
Mm-hmm.
that scene and that creative scene before I moved to Chicago and even after I moved to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Detroit has always had like that underground creative flavor
Yeah.
that people like if people know, you know, people who knew about like how cool Detroit was, but you know, people on the outside, they're like, oh, Detroit. And so Detroit has had like that, like I said, like that underground, like, you know, artist vibe. And it's really,
Mm-hmm.
really coming up and you know, it still has that. And I would have to say, even after all the years I've been in Chicago and at the point that Chicago has claimed me in a way artistically, my roots are still as an artist, it's still very Detroit. You know what I mean? Like very
Yeah.
Detroit um minded and
Yeah.
in terms of the vision and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, which is really cool. And yeah, a lot of things have sprung up creatively from Detroit since that time that you were speaking about, which is lovely to see. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Detroit like maybe once, but I've always respected Detroit.
Hmm.
You know, I'll dog them because I dog everybody,
All right.
but it's all in fun.
Yeah.
It's like a brotherly thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Definitely.
so when Detroit started making the comeback, like the city Detroit,
Hmm.
it made me feel good because every folks from Detroit, whether it's Jiba, whether it's Eminem, whether it's whomever, they're always, well, I guess the ones that I pay attention to are a little more on the creative side, but they're always like hella cool.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how Detroit is. I mean, in terms of the creative community, um,
Yeah.
the the degrees of separation
Hmm.
are very, very small, right? So, like for instance, you mentioned Eminem. I'm like 1 degree of separation from him
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
because of the scene, because of like even crazy stuff like me working at this clothing store, spectacles,
Hmm.
way back in the day before I moved, and through spectacles, meeting one of the cats who were working at the hip hop shop, and he was mad at the dudes working at the hip hop shop, and he's trying to get them straightened out. And I said some things. He's like, "Well, why don't you come to this meeting?" And I'm in this meeting, and like, one of the employees is proof. like, I mean, and I'm here, like I'm an employee from somebody else, but I'm here at with Maurice Malone's crew, like telling them like, nah, you need to step up your game business wise, blah blah blah. you know what I'm saying? It's like, like I know the poet laureate of Detroit because
Yeah.
we came up together doing slam poetry at Pori Me Cafe, and now Jessica Care Moore has done her thing, and she's the poet laureate of Detroit. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that's my, that's the homie, and she's also tight with like my cousin. I mean,
Right.
that's just how Detroit is, right?
Yeah.
In terms of that creative community. So it's like when people are shining, every time I see somebody come up from the D, it's I take it personally because it's like, yeah, we all came up together.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
we came up together, we were in the same spaces together. Um, it's like we all influenced each other.
Hmm.
So it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. That
Yeah. And that struggle always makes those bonds tighter.
right, right,
Because
right,
we were talking about this before we hit record. We were talking about, um, do you, people in general talking about, oh, I'm going to go get that bag. I'm going to go get that bag.
right.
But then you have the people that are money hungry.
Mhm.
And do you want to be money rich or do you want to be culture rich,
Right. Community rich. That's what we're
community rich?
right, right. That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
I'd like to find the sweet spot in the middle. I want to be rich with a lot of friends
And
that are creative.
right. That sweet spot. That sweet spot. And the thing about that sweet spot, right, is that it's it's so attainable, you know,
Yeah,
and it's so there, right?
yeah.
Like, if you look at Hollywood, I look at like certain people who work together
Hmm.
all the time. Um, Case in point, Ryan Coogler and his crew.
Oh,
Congrats to them.
such a wonderful example.
Yeah, congrats to him. Congrats to everything that he's done. Congrats to Sinner,
Yes.
which was the best film of the year. But the thing about it is, and I've noticed this with a number of creatives, it's like you work with your crew. You know what I mean? And like those are
Yeah.
peoples. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Spike Lee is one of those dudes that was like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um, my man, Boys in the Hood, John Singleton. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Had people he was riffing off of, like Christopher Guest and that crew, like the Mighty Wind crew and Spinal Tap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you can
Is it Seth Rogen?
Seth
He's
Rogen, yeah, he's got his band. Judd Apatow had his, band
yeah.
misfits, that they're always working with, right?
Yeah.
And you see that, and I see that too in the comic book industry. I definitely have fomented a community
Hmm.
of people that we just kick it with, above and beyond, where somebody is at in the industry or what they're doing. I mean, we give each other our flowers, but
Hmm.
it's like, also like when we're doing conventions and stuff like that. me personally, it's like I try to make a point. It's like, let's see how many of us can come together and break bread and just, talk shit and just be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And that part is really, really cool. Like
Yeah.
that part is really fun. And that's one of the things that I enjoy and that I wanted out of the comic book industry. It's like I wanted that sense of community and I wanted it with some of the baddest motherfuckers in the business. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just, knowing these men and women and stuff like that, and all of us like kind of like pushing each other to be
Mm-hmm.
great. Um, and to find that is a beautiful thing. And that's what we talk about being community rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to economically rich. Because, yes, we were talking about before, it's like I want to get paid. I
Mm-hmm.
want a couple of extra positive zeros in my bank account, right? But I don't need to be rich. I definitely don't need to be morbidly rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you see the people going after the bag, and at a certain point, all it is the bag. You can tell that they're not happy. Like Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and that motherfucker is not happy at all.
And who can you trust? Let's be honest. Who can you trust?
Right. And part of that is, I think, is tied into how you made your money.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. You can't be up there without having pissed off at least 2-3 people.
Minimum. Extreme minimum. Right? Like piss them off to the point they become either you're the supervillain or they become a supervillain. Like I'm straight up like cursing.
Right.
Like I'm gonna ever get you if it's the
Right.
last thing I ever do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Because
need
like for me is like if you're gonna have that much money and even more than money, you're gonna have that much influence.
right,
And we still got so many homeless people.
right,
We still got so many dummies.
right, right.
What are we doing?
Exactly.
U.S. is we're walking around talking about how wonderful we are. Everybody's reading at 5th and 6th grade levels
Oh Lord Jesus Christ. Oh don't
with zero creativity.
don't don't that's a whole that's our
As I speak to an educator.
that is like our conversation right there. You know what I'm saying? Like to break all that down, that's gonna get us both in trouble. Because Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
And at this stage of the game too, like
For real.
when with the fuckery is in your face. It is so in your face. And to still have people be that delusional, you know what I mean?
Right.
About their decision.
And the thing is, they say, yeah, he's a clown, but he's our clown.
I don't want that clown. I don't want to be around clowns.
I don't want to be around clowns.
Right.
We got serious business to get to.
Exactly. Like, fuck a Pennywise. You know what I mean? Like, the only clown I kind of want to be around is Homie. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And my nostalgic attachment to Bozo. I'll take Bozo.
Yeah.
But homie would have to control Bozo.
Right. and Homie would. You know? Because think about the clowns. I mean, aside from Homie and Bozo, think about the clowns, right? Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Krusty.
Sideshow Bob.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, even throw Donald up in that bitch. Like
Ronald giving people high cholesterol. Come on, son.
Right. They talk about sending the clowns. No, the clowns can go elsewhere. How about that? You
Yeah,
know?
they can go the hell out my face.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
When you're so when you've been building your momentum and your circle of misfits, was it that you called it?
Um, just no, my peoples. You know what I mean? It's
Your people?
my tribe, or my pride, if you will. I'm a Leo, so it's like
Yeah.
pride. You know
Boy, you Leos can't let that shit go.
what? You know what?
Leos are just upset that they're not Aries.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Fireside. Fireside beef up in here. Like, we just burn it. You burn it all. Whatever.
Oh my God, I miss you so much. I miss you so much.
um.
So when you're working with your pride,
Mhm.
do you find social media helping or does it hurt?
So I would say this: social media helped me find other members of my tribe.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Also, social media lets you know, like, not everybody can come. That's for sure.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Um, because what people don't realize or what they forget is, like, when you're using your social media, like, too many people show their entire ass. You know what I'm saying? On social media,
The
and they think they're
whole
being
thing.
anonymous, and they think they're being anonymous because it's social media, but
Yeah.
it's like someone who's drunk. You know what I mean? Like, alcohol is truth serum. Like, this is you
Yeah.
that we're seeing out there,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like with people, that I may be interested in meeting or even working with, it's like I spend some time observing how they navigate that social media space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, because I'm seeing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get with who you are, then we can, have a conversation and hopefully it becomes something deeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a number of cats who become really good friends of mine, we met on social media, um,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in the business. For example, my guy Fabrice Sapolsky, owner of Fair Square Graphics, right?
Mm-hmm.
His company. We were online, for a number of years, like one of those things. Oh yeah, I like what you do, man. Oh, I like what you do. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? And then a couple of years ago, um, at C2E2, which is coming up next week in Chicago,
Nice.
um, I saw that he was there, and so we had a chance to meet. And I walked over to his booth, and it was like immediately, like hands on straight. He's like, "Jiba, my friend, he's a French Jewish dude," and we embraced immediately, and like immediately, we became homies. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because again, on social media, like, we're seeing what the other is doing, and we also see that we have the same mindset, the same
Mm-hmm.
outlook. So that when we met in person, it was just like on like popcorn, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing. So in that, social media can be cool. And I think it was cooler. It was cooler 10 years ago, before like a lot of the algorithm and the
Yeah.
negativity got into place. Because I got a girlfriend or two out of social media, like a long distance girl from London. You know what I mean? South Africa
Yeah.
girl from London as a girlfriend because of social media. That's like
Yeah.
when it was cool and honest before all the catfishing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all of the negative algorithm, you know what I mean? Push
Yeah. And
and
all the thirst traps.
right, right, right,
Mm-hmm.
right. When it was like social media instead of now, you know,
A
people try.
social manipulation.
Yes, they're trying. You know what I'm saying? They're
Hmm.
trying, and if you are not um aware, right? If you are not media savvy, which most of the people in this country are not, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It is easy to get duped, you know.
Hmm.
And also,
Yeah.
let's be honest, a lot of people want to be duped. You know what I'm saying?
They leave that door open. Yeah.
Yeah, they leave that door open because, they need that confirmation bias,
Yeah.
like, of their thought process
Yeah.
and things of that nature. Like,
And for what? Generally speaking, is because they're after that bag.
it's either they're after that bag or they're after that validation that they don't get in their life outside of the like, they don't get that self-validation,
Yeah.
less validation from others.
Yeah. Because online you could become literally whoever you want,
You can, but the thing is that
or you can tell people who you are.
right, you know
That's
you
better said, I think.
right, right, and because the thing about it is, like, most people are not good actors. So
Yeah.
even if they try to create a persona, you know what I mean, of who they are, it's like the reality of who they are always seeps through,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who has done theater in their life and has been on stage in their life, and it's like, yeah, acting is good only so much, but, the best actors, and one of the reasons why they're some of the best actors is because they find a piece of themselves in the roles that they play, and so they can
Hmm.
take that aspect of themselves and, transfer it to that role.
Yeah.
Most people can't do that, so even if they're trying to act like there's somebody big and bad, it's like the cracks fall through, and it's just like, "Yeah, no, dog." You know what I'm saying? "Nice try, but nah." Nah.
Let's go to young Jiba in Detroit.
Okay, okay.
What was it that got you into being a creative person?
I was born into a creative family.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, dad's an architect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mom is ill with the sewing and the craft work
Yeah.
and, with the baking and the cooking.
Yeah.
Um, on my mom's side of the family, like crap load of artists, you know, singers and actors, you know what I'm saying? And musicians.
Amazing.
Same on dad's side. So I was born into it.
Yeah.
I say that I was, like, genetically bred to be, you know, either an artist or an educator, and I wound up doing both, but I don't mind, like, my
Because, of course, because you're an overachiever.
well, I don't mind the programming, and I don't mind the coding.
Sure.
Like, I mean, sweet, good job. Um, so I was always, in that, you know, that, uh, that incubator
Hmm.
and always encouraged to be in that incubator, right?
Oh, that helps.
It helps immensely. I tell everybody who will listen, I am so glad to be born into the family I was born into,
Hmm.
for the career path that I've chosen. And then on top of that, like all of my siblings are creatives as well, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. So it's like my younger brother recently, he's gotten back into fine art, and he's doing like these collage pieces and his technique and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Nice.
that's pretty dope. Um and it's so ironic because he was the one who first went digital way back in the early 90s when I was still
Nice.
studying um to ultimately be in comics and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
at the time when much younger, this is like me 19, 20, and 17, 18, and me saying it's like, no, I'm not gonna go digital. Like I'm gonna be a traditional artist. And come all these years later, we like switch roles. I'm like, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Can't be mad
Yeah.
at can't be mad at it because it's all part of that. Again, we're all in that incubator and stuff like
Yeah.
and it also really helps as well because it's like when your father and your siblings are all artists, like we can all critique each other's shit and not blow smoke up each other's ass. So we're
Yeah.
always making sure that, we're all at the top of our game,
Yeah.
which is great. So
Yeah.
that also leads into like, people online calling themselves critics and stuff like that. It's like, fuck out of here.
Mm.
You're like,
How are you gonna criticize something
you,
you don't even know how the process works?
you know what I'm saying? Like, you try to say, well, you could like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, so that's young. That's young. Jib was in that incubator. Young Jib was a nerd. Old Jib still is a nerd. Just became cool about it.
Yeah.
Became a cool nerd before people thought being a nerd was a cool thing. It's like again, you don't know
No,
about.
you made being a nerd look cool.
You're right, 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 exactly. Because you had to be diverse back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had to like, when I was a teenager, when I was 13 going on 14, again having that we were talking a little earlier, every 7 years you have an epiphany, right? Like that next level.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So being 13 going into 14, which was me going into high school, right?
Mhm.
I did a self-assessment and I was like, okay, what do you have going on? It's like, all right, you're short, you're overweight, you are so much of a nerd that you don't even carry your pens and pencils in a pocket protector. You carry them in your glasses case. So, for all intents and purposes, no girl would ever want to date you. So, okay, so how do we counteract that?
You better start drawing pictures.
Well, for me, I like okay, doing my what's now known as a SWOT analysis, right? I laid out my weaknesses, right? So like, okay, so what are my strengths? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And again, this is the 80s. So I'm like, word, I can dance. That's the number one, because back in the 80s, you know what I mean, a brother who knows how to dance.
You know?
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly.
Hey, people laugh. When I was in the army, I was in a dance crew.
Dog. When
We
I
were practicing. We
when I was in undergrad, I was briefly a backup dancer for this white rapper. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, anyway. So I was like,
putting a note to self.
right.
Background.
Yeah. So, so
We are not gonna not touch that later. Let's
right.
go.
I threw that out. Um, so I was saying, all right. So I was like, okay, I can dance. And then I'm like, all right, what I also need to do is work on the personality. You know what I mean? Like work on being that good dude,
Mhm.
right? So that, girls will want to be around, to be to
Sure.
attract
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So, I worked on that. So it was like when I was in high school, um, it wasn't until like I shot up like my junior year to get to thin out,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? That I started going on dates. But I always had girls around me. I always had, you know, young women around me, and also being in the theater group, that helped, especially going to an all boys school. So they had to ship the girls in through, you know what I'm saying, through the sister schools.
Yeah.
And then it didn't hurt that even in Detroit, being in an all boys Jesuit school, we had some of the illest DJs. So whenever we had our monthly dances, like all the high schools, you know,
Yeah.
would come to a
Yeah.
UP high party because it was setting it off. So those combined, you know what I mean, um, had me all right. And then when I went into college and stuff like that, that's when stuff blossomed, right? But at
Mhm.
the same time, in my nerd brain, you know, I'm not thinking like I'm physically cute. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like
Mhm.
if a girl is interested in me, it's because she's interested in my mind. You know what I mean? Like I charmed her. That
Yeah. That's how I feel about myself too.
right.
Like,
That's
I
how
could make you laugh.
right. And it was recently I'm looking back at old photos of myself. I was like, oh wait a minute. Oh, I guess I was kind of cute. Okay. All right. And I'm glad I didn't know that back.
No, I always tell people I always had negative reinforcement, right? So for example, I was in basic training and I had what the army
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah, yeah.
Those are called birth control glasses.
Okay.
Because with those glasses on, you ain't getting nothing, nothing.
Nathan.
And I'm in the foxhole, and one of the drill sergeants, who was a female, came up and she looked at me and she said, "God damn, Private, you sure are ugly." And I was like, I got to work on these jokes then.
Right. Right. She came at you straight up like a colored
I got to
purple.
make somebody
Like,
giggle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long life.
she came at you like you were ceiling. Like, God damn. Like she was Suge Avery and you were Sealy up in this piece.
Like, what did I do to you? That is abuse, young lady.
uh, uh, that was probably her girl way of saying like you cute. That was probably that.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
But at 17, that shit hit like a brick.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it did. It's like,
Like, Mom, what did you do to me?
yeah, I don't know how
My ugly broke through the glasses. She didn't even see the glasses. Like,
Oh, in the words of Edith, those were the days. Okay.
huh.
Oh man.
Yeah, and this is back when like you had to have game. Like
You had to.
these kids these days, they have it so easy. You swipe left and all of a sudden you're
But
knocking boots already. Like we used to have to work.
right, but you know what? Um, it's not that easy for them because, like, again, seeing in these internet streets, right, and seeing these dudes and Lord Jesus, the manosphere, that bullshit.
Ugh,
But it's like dudes have become so lazy,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
the whole notion about it is it's just like the animal kingdom, right?
Hmm.
Like dudes don't choose the women. Women
Right,
choose the men.
right.
Like the most you can do as a dude, like I'm looking at or I'm reminded of, you know, that series on National Geographic about Earth and stuff like that, and seeing the
Hmm.
rituals and like, you know, talk about the birds and
And the
things.
birds bouncing
Right.
around. And
Hate
doot,
it.
doot,
So
doot,
like
doot,
they
doot,
try to
doot,
try to,
doot.
you know, try to get the girl and old girl is like and then fly off. I mean, it's like
Yeah, your
it's
house is a mess.
right.
Later.
It's always been like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And dudes have gotten so lazy because of the swipe left and the swipe right
hmm,
that they don't. It's like, and on top of that, that yes, you know, women don't need you, but women want you.
yeah,
So how are you going to be the type of dude that they want? And a lot of these cats again talk about the manosphere, they're always looking at the wrong shit. Like with the manosphere, I think of it as like bullies teaching the people who've been bullied on, you know what I mean? That they
how to be
bully,
bullies.
right?
Yeah,
How to be bullied, and you never learn from that. And then you wind up, you know, you're part of that grift, right? That
right.
grift of loneliness
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And it's like, nah, it's like you have to work at it. I mean, we did a podcast years ago. We talked about the cons and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's like, nah, dude, you need to wash your ass. You know, you need to use deodorant.
But yeah, you can't be out in the streets with yuck mouth.
Right, you need to brush your teeth. You know what I'm saying? You need to find clothes that fit you. You know, and not talk about comic books all the goddamn time. And then on top of that, right? On top of that, especially in this nerd space, is like now you got the girls out there and they are free to be themselves, and nerd girls are so cute, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
like when we were in high school and stuff like that, finding a girl like that, it's like finding a unicorn, right?
You better hang on tight.
Right. And now unicorns are everywhere, but y'all still fucking up. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. It's like in general, guys are scared of girls because they're scared of that rejection,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But it's like, as we know, coming up, it's like, you get shot down, you get back up, you dust yourself off, you know what I mean? You try,
Yep.
right? Like,
Yep.
she wasn't
Every no you collect, it gets a little easier to accept.
right. And then you'll get that yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you will get that yes from that person who wants to be with
Right.
you, right?
Right.
And this is me being old. That's the important thing, right? It's like a lot of dudes, or you see young guys, they want to get the girl to impress their boys, right? They want to get the kind of girl that, their boys be like, damn, I wish it, instead of like
Yeah.
thinking about like, you know, who's the girl for you?
Right.
Later for what they think. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
at the end of the day,
And even then, why does it matter? It
right?
has to make sense to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, yeah, the relationship is between you and that other person.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not between anybody else. And the thing at the end of the day, it's like if you aren't and that other person ain't clicking, there's where the problem lies,
Yep.
right? Um, but in that, again, you have to be the kind of person that the person that you want to attract would be attracted to,
Yeah.
right?
And let's say you got that girl that was just an angel sent from heaven. She is just absolutely a 10.5 out of 10,
Hmm.
but you guys aren't connected the way that you're supposed to be. Now
Ex-
you got to worry about all those homies that you try to impress. All of those idiots are going to hit on her.
yeah, but yeah, because yeah, I mean, been there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that, right? I
Yep.
mean, first of all, the person that you with is gonna play the olive oil role. You know what I'm saying? And you always having to be Popeye. You ain't supposed to be with her anyway to begin
Right.
with. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So that's
Right.
that's a mistake on your fault. That's your fault. That's
Right.
your mistake because you were looking at the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Or you're trying hard on something that ain't even supposed to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. And, like I said, I mean, throughout my life, again, looking at my dating history, I was like, man, I went out with some baddies. Like, how did I do that? Like, again, in my third mind, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I work that out?
Yeah.
Like looking at my history, like first of all, having a history. Second of all, looking at, the level of my history and and the people that I've had the pleasure of being with, right? I was just like, man, like you did all right for yourself. I don't know how you did it, but you know, good on you, right? And I say I don't know how you did it because in terms of what the manosphere values, right? It's like
Yeah.
I'm the antithesis of that. And so
Yeah.
I've done way better than all these little other dudes that, you know, these
Bums.
yeah, these bums that people are following, right? It's like y'all got
Yeah.
the game. It's not that they got the game fucked up, it's that they are purposely um misrepresenting the game. So it's like
Yeah.
to create this endless cycle of just like um just low self-esteem, you know,
Yeah.
right? And just misery, which really, really sucks.
Mm-hmm. It don't help you. It's not helping you be a better person.
No,
And the only way to get to the only way to getting to, the people that you want to hang out with is getting you work on yourself because
exactly,
that's what you can control.
exactly, exactly.
Stop being so goddamn thirsty.
Right. Drink some water. Like go outside, touch grass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nature fixes so many things.
right. Like, man,
So many things. Just go outside and take a walk. You'll be
right.
fine.
Yeah, for real, for real. I mean, if need be, take a gummy before you go out for that walk. Enjoy yourself. you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Connect with yourself. And then when you're comfortable with yourself and you know how to express yourself like a goddamn human,
Hmm.
people will be attracted to that. And you'll see building relationships, whether it's the romantic kind or the creative kind, it becomes easier because
Right. Or
people
just
like stability.
right.
People,
Friendship.
it's fun hanging out with those folks that are wild, but you can only do that for a little while.
And not even that long. Yeah, you know
You
what I'm
know what I'm saying?
right. Not even
I'm
mm,
at that point in my life.
mm,
Like you got till
nope.
about 5 o'clock after dinner, and then I need some downtime. I need
Right.
alone time. I need reading time.
Time away
Go
from
outside and make some smoke time.
right, exactly. Just those moments. Yeah, like yeah, them wild people like all right.
Yeah, no, I don't have that much energy anymore.
No, no. I was in a situation um like that 2 weeks ago. It was a moment. I was at this conference, uh BIPOC pop conference at the University of Texas at Austin. And he won't mind me telling this story in a podcast. I was with my friend Corey Davis. Corey Davis is the owner of Rock Bottom Studios, which is becoming like the largest animation studio,
Oh,
uh,
cool.
African American owned animation studio in the country. So anyway, and there's a title for the story too. The title for the story is Blue Blazers, Brown Liquor, and Brazilians.
I was like, all right. And then you said brown liquor. I was like, here we go.
I'm like, okay, the only thing about this story is like, should I be naming names? Um, because all right, I'm gonna try to keep it as anonymous as possible
Yeah.
to protect the guilty. Anyway, so Corey and I, it was the Saturday night of the second day of the conference, right? And we were having dinner with friends and colleagues, and we were talking all this big shit about doing karaoke afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we enjoy karaoke. Anyway, as the night goes on, like my voice is getting a little hoarse, and we're thinking about people are like, kind of falling off. Like I need to get back to the hotel because tomorrow for the last day, blah blah blah. And so Corey and I were kind of like, are we really gonna do karaoke tonight? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's go get a drink and let's go see what happens. Okay, we'll make a decision, right?
Yeah.
So we got dropped off near his hotel, and we were walking around downtown Austin, and we wound up at this bar. Okay, and we had a drink or two, and we were just shooting the shit. And then at a certain point, I'm like, yeah, let's step outside because also had some smoky smoke, so it's like, want to step out, smoke something. Okay, so it's like cool. So we are outside and of the bar, and just to get the blazer thing in there, not the blue blazer yet, but it was like I was wearing like my tweed blazer, and Corey was wearing his black leather blazer. This is
Okay.
important because this is how the story begins. Okay. So we're out there talking business, you know what I mean? Like swapping horror stories about potential clients with very, 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 very bad movie ideas. Very bad, very bad, right? I mean, to the point of like, I'm lamenting, like, why is it like dudes, they got the money, but zero ideas, and they just don't. I mean, I don't need that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
You know what I'm saying.
like anyway, yeah. So while we're out there and while we're talking, a couple people thought, we were the bodyguards of the bar. We're like, no, but anyway, fine, you go in. But at a certain point, there was this is where the Brazilian comes in. There was this very cute Brazilian girl, right? And she was like, excuse me, like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but she goes to Corey. She's like, but I love your blazer. Oh my God, that blazer looks so good. Like, it looks so good on you, and Corey's like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, oh, you guys look so good. She's like, because, people don't dress, so on and so forth. So they don't dress like that. But you guys came out there looking good, da 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 da. And we're like, oh, okay, well, thank you, thank you very much, right? So this is the Brazilian, right? And she's there with come to find out, well, she's definitely there with I Peep It Already, her best gay, right?
Uh-huh.
And then also her husband. Okay. And we, meet her husband, okay, and he's a nice guy. He's got a very Texan name, but again, I'm withholding names,
Sure.
like the guilty. But he
Yeah.
doesn't look like the name he has, right? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's Texas. You know what I mean? So we're just, we're talking, right? And and we asked the Brazilian and her husband, like, what do you think that we do? Because it was like right before South by Southwest,
Yeah.
right? And so we tell them what we do, and they're like, oh my God, that's so cool, blah, 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 blah. So, we're having this like sort of creative discussion a little bit. Okay. This is where the blue blazer and the brown liquor come into the situation. So while we're talking, okay, two other women walk up, two of them, two sisters walking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them is like very like, oh, out in the open, like, right?
Yeah.
The other one is definitely a stud. She looks like Lori Lightfoot's little sister. The former mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, literally. She got on the blue blazer, and she's got the brown liquor in a plastic cup
Here we go.
outside, right? And when people start drinking, how they like, want to get all close to you, like and shit and stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they leave,
Everybody gets
they
friendly.
leave
Yeah.
liquor in this
Yeah.
and then they back up and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Lori Lightfoot. She's not up in the conversation, but she's like in and out there, like just roaming around, right?
Yeah.
But her friend, her girl, like Flower Child, she winds up she's in she's a burlesque dance, or she says that she produces a burlesque show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Corey, like, nah, she's in the show. And I'm like, yep, okay, problem. Anyway. I'm again, and when she tells me her name, I'm not gonna reveal her name right now because I'm protecting the guilty. But hearing her name and how she introduced herself to us, it was just like, okay, so the fuckery quotient just kind of went up. You know? Like the potential for shenanigans and chicanery
Yeah.
just increased, you know, by a factor of 10. And so we're like, okay, you know, they're like blocking it in, blocking it in. But, you know, and then everybody starts interacting with each other. The Brazilian is interacting with, you know, the last dancer, like all this talking, like all this splitting, like, and then, you know, and then Lori Lightfoot is like kind of coming in every once in a while, stuff like that, you know. Everything was okay until the end of the evening.
Huh.
And we're about to say our goodbyes. Next thing we know, like the Brazilian's husband is hot, right? He's hot and he's like, talk about disrespect and blah, blah, blah. And he's telling this to Lori Lightfoot because you know how sometimes studs can get a little disrespectful, right? And Lori Lightfoot comes up to me because he's hot. And then, like, you know, his wife's like, no, 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 it's not like that. You know what I mean, bro? It's like, no, 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 oh my God. And Lori Lightfoot is rolling up to me, again, leading with the brown liquor. It's like, that's just because he don't know his bitch. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. This is like, yeah. I'm like, because Lori Lightfoot was talking real spicy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Million and stuff like that. And Corey and I look at each other and we're like, where's the nearest bush so we can just like straight just back up out of this.
Yeah.
Like, about,
Homer Simpson, not this
yeah,
conversation.
right. No, ultimately, the situation was diffused. The husband was over there in the huff. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
you know, and then Lori Lightfoot and burlesque dancer walked up that way. They walked up the other way. Corey and I waited till they both walked away far enough from us. You know what I'm saying? So we'd be like, okay, let's go back. So
let's go finish karaoke.
Right. Well, no, we wound up not doing karaoke, but we were like, but at the same time, if we did karaoke, would we have this story?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So yeah, so that is the story of Blue Blazers, brown liquor, and Brazilians. Because Lori Lightfoot had on that. She had on that Blue Blazers too.
Oh, Lori Lightfoot's little sister.
And
you gotta stop talking about people.
Not exaggerate. I'm not exaggerating. Like Corey is from South Carolina. And he knows about Lori Lightfoot. So when I mentioned and she looked like Lori, he's like, "Oh my God, you were so right." Shout out to former Mayor Lori Lightfoot. I liked her. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like that's a tough job to have.
Being a government official is a tough gig.
Yeah.
To have. You know, straight up. Like,
yeah.
Hence, again, go 6 hours with the show that we have right now. You know what I mean? In our government, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on top of it, it's like, y'all motherfuckers voted for this shit. Y'all voted for this shit. Like, don't come to me now talking about this is not what I voted for, bitch. This is exactly what you voted for.
This is exactly what you voted for.
Like,
he's giving you what you ordered.
Right. Like fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, nah.
Have you noticed any, or have you seen any like ICE interactions and stuff?
I was in the vicinity
Yeah.
of a couple. You know, I didn't see it personally, but you know, I saw them. Like I said, I was in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Of a couple of instances.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. That's a tough situation, and When I was in Florida, I saw uh, a brown family get pulled over.
Mm,
I don't know if it was an accident or speeding or something,
mm,
but they got pulled over. They're off to the side,
mm,
and like as I'm pulling or as I'm driving by, ICE had pulled up and jumped out.
mm,
So it was like some kind of traffic infraction
mhm,
that turned into everybody's leaving now.
mm, mhm. Yeah,
Like, ain't nobody safe.
yeah, yeah.
Ain't nobody safe.
And
God dog.
nobody's you
Let's
wonder
let's get back to the creative stuff before I start crying.
round,
Before I get all sad.
round.
Um, what was it? Okay, so you came through your family is super creative and they're super supportive
Mhm.
and they're like, yeah, Jiba, you're gonna go be a creative juggernaut and all that stuff. What was the first style of creativity that you leaned into?
I was always comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, like, I mean, I was always drawing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the age of 7, I figured out, like, if I could play for the rest of my life and that being a career, I would be happy, and
Let's go.
I knew that
Yeah.
drawing was all about it.
Yeah.
For a brief moment, I wanted to be an architect like my dad,
Mm-hmm.
but at the time, I didn't like math, and then I found out you couldn't draw people, so I was like, let me think about something else." But it was around 10 that I was like, "I wanna be a comic book artist."
Yeah.
And that was the North Star
Mm-hmm.
from everything that I did creatively. It was all in service of learning to create comics. So whether it be doing theater, whether it would be, doing photography, uh,
Yeah.
getting into graphic design,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. That was all about the goal of ultimately becoming a comic book artist.
Mm.
And I was I was supposed to be on this path because I realized, like, through every step of my journey, I was straight up blessed. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? With
Mm-hmm.
people I respected in the game. The first comic book artist I ever met at the age of 16 was a black comic book artist, which was Keith Pollard, who was
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff for Justice League and stuff like that. So I knew his stuff.
And isn't it a game changer to see representation? Like you
Exactly.
look like me.
Right. Which means that I can do this. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Um uh Todd Johnson, the creator of Tribe, you know, it's still the biggest selling black comic book of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to shop at his comic book store when I was in high school.
Oh,
You know what I'm
sick.
saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, even when I was starting to get in, he was like one of the first cats I was talking to. Dennis Cohen from Milestone Media when I had my first portfolio put together and went and met him at Chicago Comic Con. It's like
Mm-hmm.
around 94. And him like looking dead in my eyes and talking about, you want to make your own comics, don't you? You know what I mean? Putting me on that path. Up to me meeting my who would be my best friend for 30 plus years, Lamorris Richmond, right before I moved to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And and Lamorris gave me my first gig, which was working on JBD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I say I was getting my master's at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. I was getting my doctorate on the art of creating comics, working with Lamorris.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamorris introducing me like to the game, introducing me to, to history, to some historical players like Tertel Only, and Tim Jackson and and Seitu Hayden and Grass Green, to name a few. Like talk about some pioneers in black
Mm-hmm.
comics, right? And then on the
Mm-hmm.
flip side, me knowing and meeting up with cats like Brian Azzarello and Jill Thompson and Alex Ross. You know what I'm saying? Just right at and Tony Akins, just right at the beginning of
Subtle
the
flex.
huh?
Subtle flex.
Right. But I mean, but these were,
But those are monsters.
yeah, and they were also at the beginning of their careers. They were just about to become the monsters, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like, yeah, so I was like in it, you know what I mean? Like, and I was supposed to be in it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? To the point where, yeah, like in 97, 98, me creating Griot Enterprises, it's like I was set up for success. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And my man Lamorris definitely set me up for success, you know, and we were we were joined at the hip, you know what I mean? Till the very end.
Yeah.
Till literally till the very end. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
like I took care of him in his last days. I was the last person that he talked to
Mm.
before, before he entered Stovacore because he's, we're such nerds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But but
Does it
he was straight up the Ramirez to my McLeod. Like if
yeah.
Highlander terms, yeah.
Does that affect your psyche at all, being like understanding that you're the last person that this person spoke to?
What's funny was that that night I was supposed to leave earlier,
Mhm.
but I left my hazard lights on and it was cold that night. So battery in my car died, so I had to wait for a jump. And at the time, I was kicking myself at the head, like right when it was happening, I was kicking myself in the head. It's like, oh, you're so
Yeah.
irresponsible. But I realized that was the universe
Yeah.
giving me the final hours that I needed with my boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that crazy how that happens?
Yeah. And I recognized it immediately. 'Cause it was like, yeah. And yeah, I was the last person that he talked to.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very, very happy that I was able to take care of him
Yeah.
in the last months.
Yeah.
You know, there was nothing there are no regrets at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Mhm.
left unsaid. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's how I approach my relationships, especially now that I'm older and I know how fragile everyone's timeline is.
yeah, yeah,
I will tell you, I love you. I miss you.
yeah. Love you too, man.
Yeah.
It's been it's been way too long. And see, again, because we connected like that immediately, right?
100%. 100. Boy, it was like hand in glove.
Right.
We've
Right.
always had our little, again, band of misfits. It
Right.
was you, me, Scott,
Jared,
Jared,
like
Ernesto.
just
Like,
just immediately. Just
just,
immediately.
it was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. You guys are a highlight. You guys are definitely a highlight. I don't know if you know this, but Scott,
I know he passed. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he and I were like really tight. So tight that they called him bleached Los and I was toasted Scott.
Ah. Oh god.
To this day, I still stay in communication with his family, with his wife and kids and stuff.
Right on.
You know, they look at me like Uncle Carlos
Yeah, yeah,
and I adore them.
yeah. It's the same thing with Lamorris and his family. It's like,
Yeah,
I got a new auntie, I got another sister,
yeah,
taking care of his affairs, and it was just, putting the affairs together, like everything was seamless. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
with his project and with his creations and his IP, like um it was unanimous, like, his mom and his sisters, like, no, you handle it. We trust you
Mm-hmm.
implicitly with what you're going to do with this stuff. And yeah, gonna doing him right. You know what I mean? Doing
Mm-hmm.
him right. It's oddly enough, I think it's gonna be some of the best creative work of my career, as a
Mm-hmm.
designer and stuff like that. And then also going back to JVD, revisiting the character that started my career. Like, this week I've been, I've been very, very creative I've been busy since his passing, just working, working,
Mm-hmm.
and just feeling that energy and feeling that creative energy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
feeling that energy. And
Yeah.
yeah, and just doing the work, you know what I mean? Doing the work that uh he helped me realize, like putting all of those, using all of those skills
Yeah.
was.
So what was the work divide? What were you in control of and what was he in control of? And then how did you guys
Well, he was
figure out how to work together?
well
Because I know
uh,
sometimes working with creative folks,
right on. Well, the thing is,
there's head bumping.
yeah, well, the thing is, me coming in fresh and new. He was the
Hmm.
writer and creator. I was the penciler. And
Okay.
during that time, it was just like I was there to learn.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I mean, he taught me so much. He actually gave me the words that allowed me to develop my art style
Hmm.
because, when I was starting off, right? I mean, I was in art school and I was doing the art school thing and I was, you know, being that artist, but
Hmm.
I thought comic books I had to be something else, and I was looking at other creators and stuff like that. And I was trying to mimic, you know what I mean? Because there's so many different artists in my DNA, and I'm like trying to figure out which is the style that's going to help me sell.
Hmm.
And at a certain point, he was looking at what I was doing, and he was looking at stuff I was doing, in art school, grad school, and he was like, "You know what? I don't want you to draw comics. I want you to illustrate." And when he said that, it was like, "Oh, I don't have to keep the fine art part of me and the comic book part of me separate. They need to
Yeah.
come together."
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when he said that to me, it's like, got it, you know. So it's like what would become my style very much emerged from that interaction. And also showing me the finer points, like lettering, like how to actually put the book together. Like what are,
Hmm.
what am I looking for? Right? Like
Hmm.
what's gonna
Hmm.
define what I'm doing, the craft of it all. Just being with him and going through that, you know. Um, that learning experience was immeasurable. And even afterwards, when I grew into my own and stuff
Hmm.
like that, we never had arguments about the creative process because we were like simpatico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like right from jump, we were simpatico about the creative process. Um,
Yeah. When you have that, when you have that relationship that just
right.
makes sense,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have that respect for each other and
Exactly.
that understanding. So you don't have to work that hard to come to an understanding.
No, not at all. I mean, we would give each other shit as friends would do, but
Of
it
course.
was always just giving each other shit. It was never we never had there was never like a knockdown drag out like none of that.
VH1, where are they
You're
now?
right,
Situation.
none of that shit. It was like no, we were right there with each other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Every step of the way. Um, there were times when he would call me up and, ask me like, "What do you think about this idea? What do you think about this um certain way to go on this project?" And I'm like, do it this way, that way. Um, I think the only thing that I don't know if he realized this because his whole thing was like, I just want to work. I just want to do work. I just want to create work. And he definitely wanted to work on a DC or Marvel project. And
Hmm.
that didn't happen. But I mean, he did stuff for the real Ghostbusters. I mean, he worked in the comic book industry. He was indie. And that's the thing. He was an indie dude. And the thing about his concepts, like, to be honest with you, in a lot of ways, he was too good for Marvel or DC.
Mm.
they would have stifled it.
Mm-hmm.
And the work that he's left behind, the work that I have the extreme privilege and pleasure to not only have, but to be a part of,
Mm-hmm.
like, this is pure Lamorris. Like, this is the real deal. Like, this is that real shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the reason why, like, looking at it now, like, the reason why I am, and I'm not looking at it just now, but the reason why I'm in this game is because of it. The reason why I am the creative in the position that I'm in this industry is because of him. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he opened the door. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what he did. He just opened the door
Mm-hmm.
and was just like, come on in, right? And just show me like this is what being in the industry is all about.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of, people out there like they look at the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they look at, some people like hustle, will be able to hustle out a bunch of, okay, racist dudes to buy their books because you're catering to them, but you made a lot of money off of it. Again, they're looking at that paper chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that money comes and goes. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm about to be in this game 30 years next year. Like next year is the 30th anniversary of the Horsemen, my creation.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
Money comes and goes. I got that legacy right there.
How many books have you put out in 30 years?
In Griot Enterprises as a whole, uh, well over 20.
Yeah.
Well over 20 because the 4 pages, 16 bars anthology alone is 10 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's another thing that I can say, right? While cats were talking about, oh, we need a magazine or a book, focusing on black creators and blah 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 and stuff. I did that shit,
Yeah.
right? I did that shit. Um, and I did it longer than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I beat all Negro comics record. And I say that out of respect.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you did it, you get to talk about it.
Right, right. Like no one, like literally no one else can say that. No one
Yeah.
else can say that. Like I have recorded the living history of black comics,
Yeah.
for over 10 years, and I have 10 volumes out of it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Last volume, the 10th volume being almost 200 pages, and the
Damn.
other 9 are like 125 at least.
Damn.
Right. With the Horsemen, so far 9 books. I mean 10 if we are counting this Kickstarter, which is a couple days left, which is a reprint of the first issue, along with uh, Tales of the Orisha, which are the actual myths from the African regions that inspired the Horsemen.
Huh.
So did that and did some other stuff, like the Dark Kingdom, which came out of the work that I've done for role playing games and stuff like that. Up to being on the editorial team for the event of 2026 called Epiphany Engine, where we have gotten over 30 independent black comic book publishers together, got the creators together, or the
Mm-hmm.
characters together. And this is basically the Black Comics Crisis on Infinite Earths. And
Outstanding.
that's dropping this year. And that's
Hell yeah.
something that people have said couldn't be done. And I'm on the editorial team of that joint happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, son.
Later this year. So
Have
it's
you ever met Dawood Anyabuile?
not personally. We are Facebook friends, but we haven't met face
Oh, that's
yet.
my dog,
Yeah,
dude.
we haven't met yet. I say yet.
I can make that happen
Yeah.
later today.
They like I know we will meet in person. Like that's
Yeah.
actually, like that's
Let me be that connection because
okay.
I want to brag about that one.
Okay. All right. All right. Because yeah, of what I like to call the trinity of like the black comics movement of the 90s, right? Which officially got me in. It's like, yeah, I know Todd. I know Todd Johnson personally. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, and Larry Stroman came to the first 4 pages, 16 bars gallery show. So, so I got blessed that way. So the Tribe guys I know, with Milestone, Dennis Cohen, hit me to the game, inspired me to do that. Dwayne McDuffie turns out was a fan of the Horsemen. You know what I mean? And I know that
Hmm.
because he told me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So yeah, so Dawood is he's the only one that I have not met yet.
Yeah. No, um, and every time I come up with some goofy shit, I reach out to him. He's been on the channel. He
Right.
came on the channel probably last month, maybe.
Okay.
And we got the update, and now he's just, if you haven't checked in on him on Instagram, you need to see what he's
I
doing.
checked out what he was doing with that Brother Man piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that piece. I know he's using AI, but he's using it really, really well. You know?
Yeah. And that's the part like I was always nervous. I've always been hesitant about AI and stuff, but then like Dawood is doing his thing
He's
and
doing yeah, he's doing
it is so good.
it is. And here's the thing, I don't love AI at all. I really
Yeah. Yeah.
but the cats that I know who are using it well, I respect. Like Dawood used it really, really well.
Yeah.
Another friend, colleague of mine, Tim Fielder, with the Adventures
Hmm.
of Maddie Rocket, he's using AI very, very well. Natrice Gaskins, she's using AI well. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the thing about the three people that I just mentioned, they're artists first.
Hmm.
They don't need it. They don't need AI, right? It is strictly a tool for them. Again,
Yeah.
I don't love AI. Like
Right.
I'm avoiding it, but it's like if I need to do a proof of concept for this Horseman animated series that will hopefully, greenlight it, I may have to dip into that. I'm
Yeah.
not happy about it.
Yeah.
But because again, it's just for a proof of concept.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not
For me, I use it mostly I I use it mostly to do the C-level manager stuff.
okay, yeah.
Coming up with
Yeah,
budgets,
yeah,
coming up writing emails where it's not every other word is a bad word, stuff like that.
yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'm just now. So do you remember Charlie Williams?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my little brother.
Yeah.
We talk almost every week, every other week.
Right on.
Um, and he put me onto this tool, Weavy, and um, and I'm starting to play.
Mhm.
I don't think I will ever make a film or content or whatever strictly AI,
Right.
but um like right now I'm working on a film. I did a last year I went on this off-road racing race thing that I was out there. So the team invited me to come film. So I was like on this race for like a week.
Okay.
But there's certain things like I want the truck to bust through some words.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And so instead of opening up Max and having to pay $500 a month for that stuff,
Right.
and I can do it in Blender too,
Mhm.
but for now I'm learning how I can leverage my videos that I shot
Mhm.
and doing the motion graphics and stuff like that.
Right, right, right. Right.
Right. Just because I don't want to be an AI artist. I want to leverage AI for the little parts that will make my bigger film more efficient.
Yeah, I think someone calling themselves an AI artist is an oxymoron. because they are not doing the work. You know what I mean?
Right.
The
Right.
the AI
Right.
is doing the work for them. That's why
I can see
with the other three, people that I mentioned, I mean, they're artists first, right? And I know they're,
exactly.
I mean, they were all
If you watch Dawood, that dude, he bleeds paint.
brother man. I mean, look, come on, come on,
Yeah, I
like
got all his.
1990, like the first issue, bro. I'm like, what is this? Oh my god! Oh yeah, like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. you
yeah,
know,
that's my dog too, man. He is always, and now he's getting back into oil paints,
I've
or
been seeing
he doesn't do oil. He does acrylic.
acrylics. I've been seeing
He sets up a
stuff.
camera and he just goes in and
Mhm,
paints to music and stuff, and
mhm.
I'm like, oh, do you remember Anu?
I-
No. He Anu had I don't think he was in school when you were teaching there. Anyway, one of my friends was like, so or I was telling him, you know what I have a craving for? He was expecting me to be like, this food and this steak and this cake. No. I said, I want to sit with some newsprint and some charcoal.
Mm, mm.
So what I'm hoping is, instead of spending all my time modeling a truck and modeling words and then making the truck bust through these words,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get that part done so I can get back to
The newsprint and the charcoal.
newsprint and charcoal.
Right, right,
I don't want to spend all my days in the studio.
right,
I don't want that. I
right,
don't. I
right.
want to get back to exactly what we're seeing with Dawood and all these other folks. They're getting back to what
Mhm.
what got us going in the first place.
Right, right. And that's interesting that you say that, because now you mentioned it's like, yeah, I'm seeing cats, they're getting back to the analog, if you will,
Right.
because
Right.
the
The texture of it, because there's nothing for me. The nostalgia of the texture of the newsprint,
yeah,
and the
the
fingers are
big,
dirty, and you're just and how it
yeah.
there's oh my god, it's such a wonderful feeling that you just can't get by clicking.
No, you can't. And there was actually a piece that I did a couple of days ago. Finished up JBD piece that it came out of like a little rough sketch, that I drew, pencil and paper and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rough sketch, scanned it in, blew it up to like finish the inking of it. And it's like, yeah, nothing beats, excuse me, nothing beats like that physical action of the pencil to the paper, like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the scritch,
And
you know,
the other spot where I can see where AI would benefit someone is if you're a writer.
ish. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's helpful. I mean, with Word, you got the grant.
No, I mean, like, imagine you. So, for example, I've been approached so many times with someone who has a wonderful idea for a kid's book.
Uh, yeah,
And they say, can you help me? And I say, yeah, but it can't be for free.
right.
Right. And they say, oh, well, and I say, what's your budget? And if they say $200, I'm like, you need to research how much it costs
To make
to
a
make a
book,
book.
right?
Right. So, like, if you are a writer and you're able to explain to a computer, I guess, your story, and you can make it that way, if you don't have the budget for it, I can see where that's beneficial.
Mean like an illustrated novel or something like that, like a children's book.
Or, for example, like, I had a friend that said, I have cats, and I have this really cute story about my cats interacting. And she said, I don't care if it turns into anything big. I just want to have this story of mine.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that would be perfect.
Yeah, something like that is fine.
But
I had a
where we're probably seeing eye to eye is like, if you're trying to do that and then you're trying to go to market,
yeah, no.
with something that you didn't draw, or and even if you came up with some roughs, if you wanted to make a video and you're using it and you make storyboards or something like that, I can convince myself to forgive you.
Right, yeah. I mean, no, it's only when someone has the arrogance of saying that I'm an artist because I did
Because the computer made this
yeah,
for
I
me.
did Mad Lib. Well,
Oh, did you see that? I guess this happened today where the Supreme Court demonetized all AI music.
oh, okay, because I know that a couple of weeks ago they were like AI images cannot be copyrighted. So
That's cool too. You
right,
got to be
right,
human.
yeah. So okay,
I like that.
so AI images cannot be copyrighted. AI music has been demonetized, which means like people can't make money off of it. So that
Yeah.
just
You
means
got to be
like
human to have that protection,
exactly. So what?
which is perfect.
Yeah. So what that means is like y'all need to get to it because here's the thing about that whole AI explosion of
Hmm.
quote unquote creativity. For me, I think it definitely came out of the pandemic
Hmm.
because I definitely feel that a lot of people hate artists. They hate no, they do. They hate
No, it's true.
yeah,
That's why the term starving artist exists.
right, right. No, they hate creatives because, the fact is that if we are lucky enough, we get to eat off of what we love to do.
Hmm.
And what happened during the pandemic is that a lot of people who hate artists were beholden to us because we were the only ones keeping them sane.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? With
Hmm.
watching the movies, with, D Nice with the brilliance of creating the whole verses thing. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like they were they were uh captured. They couldn't do anything else but absorb content.
Hmm.
And so when AI came out, it's like, oh great, now we know how to make magic too. We don't need you anymore. Psych. You know what I'm saying? But
Enter AI slop.
right. Right. And the whole thing, it's like, it's coming for your job. I'm like, how's it gonna come for my job when I own my own company?
Exactly.
And then if anything, what the AI slop is gonna do, it's gonna raise my rates because that's just gonna make my shit artisanal. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Whereas
like I said, I got interviewed for an online magazine once, and and it said something about, "Are you worried about AI?" I said, "AI has never been a Cuban kid from Chicago."
exactly, exactly, exactly. You know, AI has never been a Liberian African American dude from Detroit. You
From the D.
right. So nah, I ain't worried.
And let me go ahead and float your balloons a little bit more. I like hanging out with you way more than a computer.
Exactly. Exactly. You know?
Right?
Shit. This ain't Jarvis. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever met Panic. Panic from the Moment.
No.
He's a big deal in Chicago hip hop history.
Okay.
And I was talking to him and I said, "You know why I come to Panic instead of AI? Cuz I like what Panic does.
Mhm.
I prefer to work with people.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
prefer to work just because of the like when you're in a room full of creative people, whether it's a music studio or a lab at the school
Right.
or whatever,
It's just that
drink and draw, whatever you want,
just that energy.
that energy is just unbeatable.
Just the
And I've been in computer labs
mm,
and me and computers just don't connect that way.
no. It's not the
I love people.
right. Yeah, definitely. It's the vibes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the vibes. It's definitely, to just kick it with someone and yeah, and again, just feel that creative energy going back and forth. It reminds
Mm-hmm.
me of I was at the Baltimore Comic Con a couple years ago, and actually with Lemoore's, this was our last convention with them, And we went there not as professionals, we went there as fans. So anyway, um, one of the guests there was Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, like, grandmaster, you know what I'm saying? Artist, like, and he had his sketchbooks out there. And it's just like, God damn, and I'm looking at his pages and at his roughs and his original sketches, like, oh my God. And there's this dude next to me, and we're just like looking at the stuff, and we're like, oh my God, this is so good. Oh shit, this is so good. And I'm like,
Right.
yo, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, my name is Jiba, I got, 300, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, like, I'm kicking it and I'm geeking out with Jerome Pena, who like worked on Avengers and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
like his art, and I knew his art. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm Jerome. I worked out. I'm like, oh shit. And it's like we're these two, artists, right? Like in the game in various, stages and areas in the game, but we're both
Mm-hmm.
there geeking out. You know what I'm saying? On
Mm-hmm.
like the Grandmaster. Like both of us are like, we are not pleased, please, master, please teach me a new style. You know, that sort of thing. And you don't get that from AI slop. Because
Right.
with AI slop, the fact is that you will never get better. Your work will never grow.
Mm-hmm.
It will never evolve because it's not your work. It's the
Mm-hmm.
AI's work. That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's not
Your prompting might get better, but I mean,
well, whatever. I
for that, go write a story.
exactly. And I tell my students this. I'm like, the the act of making art is a combination of mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have one of those aspects in that process, you're not making art. Like
Mm-hmm.
even, because yes, your mind conceives it, but it's your body that makes it come to life, like the
Mm-hmm.
act of creating it. And some people argue like, well, Photoshop said it's the same. Like, nope, it is not the same because programs like Photoshop and Illustrator and Clip Studio Pro, all they are programs that mimic the actual mark making tools.
Right.
Right? The only
Right.
difference the only difference of working digitally as opposed to like painting or drawing is that at the end of the day, you don't look like you beat the shit out of the Trix rabbit and stole his cereal. Right?
And for me, price has always been, I come up from nothing,
Right,
like less than nothing. We had to work to get to zero kind of thing.
right.
And so money has always been an issue.
Mhm.
But once we got into digital, I was like, oh, unlimited paper.
Right. Which helps.
It's a pencil that I don't have to buy over and over and
Right,
over again.
right. Which helps to an
Yeah.
extent, but then we're always like, "Oh, yeah, that feeling." Yeah,
I just got done telling you I want to go back to newsprint.
exactly. That's right. And the thing about it is that your mind conceives that your body's working it, and in that is where the soul is being infused into the work.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of cats who call themselves AI artists don't understand is that people buy art because of the soul of it, not
Right.
because of how good it looks, but it's like, can you get that feeling from it? And
Right.
especially in comics, right? It's like, yeah, AI comics aren't going to pop off like that because people want that individual vision. Even
Mm-hmm.
if it's from, the latest issue of Batman or the latest issue of X-Men. You know what I mean? They want,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you look at the brand
Mm-hmm.
of X-Men, but the thing that made X-Men that brand is the work of people like Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Jim Lee, Paul Smith, Terry Austin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Linus Oliver, Tom Orshowski. You know what I'm saying? It is the artist that made that brand what it is,
Yeah.
right? And the creators that made that brand what it is.
I'll go as far as to say, so like Spider-Verse
Hmm.
with Miles Morales,
Yeah,
I connected with those two movies more than I have anything for a long time.
right, right.
But my all-time favorite movie is Disney's Robin Hood
Okay, okay.
because of the imperfections,
Right,
because of the humanity to it.
right, right.
People always complaining, oh, they reused this and that, and they did, and the
Which
lines aren't all clean. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
That is the best movie ever created in my eyes.
Word.
Because they put that shit on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put it on cell.
Mm-hmm.
Then they took pictures.
Yep.
And then they put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they put the work in. Like
The story is great.
mm-hmm.
The voices are phenomenal. The songs are brilliant.
Because I'm looking at you know, over the past few weeks, I've been on Tubi, and I've been, you know, getting my friend's house in order. I've been watching old episodes of Silverhawks, right?
Oh hell yeah!
Right. And the thing about you think about like Silverhawks, you think about uh Thundercats and stuff like that. I'm looking at this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's straight up American anime. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Because like of course the animation studios, the Japanese animation studios and stuff like that. But it's like those cats, and just think about in the 80s, because of, you know, they had to do it for not even Saturday morning, but for like after school network. 65 episodes was one season. 65 motherfucking episodes was
that
one.
is so much drawing.
Like, God damn. God damn. But they did it.
You had to work.
You had to work. And they did it though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And a lot of that stuff is still, it still holds up. It's still clean. Although it's funny because I'm watching Silverhawks and I'm coming up with like new sub like subplots for me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like definitely what the Steel Twins and whatnot. In my
Yeah.
subplot now, Steel Heart, because that was the girl, right? She was a sexy stud, and off duty she had her girlfriend Patricia somewhere, and then Steel Will, who was the dude, he's a power bottom. That's just me in my just switching up and like what you thought, because I'm like watching other episodes, I'm like, man, Steelheart is really handling the business. Like she on a rugby team? Like what's going on? You know, but that kind of fun stuff as well. And part of that is, I think it's because, again, you know, you feel the work that those people have done to, you know,
Yeah.
to make that stuff happen, right?
Yeah.
You know, and how they pulled that off, right? Like think about like Thundar the Barbarian and what a labor of love that was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you have Toth, Alex Toth, and Jack Kirby like
Mm-hmm.
working on a project like that. And again, that's because that's that humanity that put the soul in those projects that
Mm-hmm.
people vibe off of. And that's what AI lacks.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, again, I don't need shit to be perfect.
Right. Because
I don't.
perfection is an illusion. And
Yeah.
and if something looks perfect, then you don't trust it. You don't like it. It's like that uncanny valley, like how in the early aughts with computer animation and stuff like that, they were trying to go real, real, real. And then Polar Express comes out and people are like, nah, nah, nah. We don't need it. We don't need
Yeah.
computer animation to be, you know what I mean, to be real like that.
Right. Right. For that, just film it.
Right. Right.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. Otherwise,
That's how I see it. Unless you're trying to like showcase some new technology or new render or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Sweet. Okay.
yeah.
Let's have some fun.
And then think of this. Think of like when's the last time you were nostalgic about AI slop? And I understand that AI slop is still relatively new, but with everything lasting 10 seconds,
Right.
you know, the
Yeah.
oldies,
Yeah.
the oldies are like from like 2 years ago.
Right. But again, it's like I don't remember a single piece.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if I say this, Conjunction junction.
Exactly. You're like, what's your function?
See?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
There's just a connection to it. I don't know how to explain it other than it was someone made it.
Yeah. It's that human, it's that soul element.
Mm-hmm.
It's the soul that you're connecting. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Uh, that the AI slop just does not have. And also to be clear, um, 99.9% of the people who want to call themselves AI artists, or like I'm using AI to create this, are not creative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, it's like if you weren't making art before Mid Journey popped up, you're not an artist. Like
Yeah.
5-year olds are artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
or way more love in a 5-year old's piece, than any AI slot, because that 5-year old put everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
They were drawing what
Right.
they felt.
And I keep talking about I have nieces and nephews now that are getting into drawing, and they're 4, 5, 6 years old.
Mhm.
And to really bring it home for them, right on the backside of this camera, I have their art up on my dry erase board.
Yep.
So when they come over, I want you to see, no matter what you see on the internet, no matter what people are telling you,
Mhm.
you paint and you draw, I'm going to put it up.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Give them that encouragement, that honesty. You know what I mean? Because that's just pure creativity. When you're that age, when you're little like that, that's just
Mm-hmm.
pure. That is just unfiltered, like whatever is in
Just
your head.
pure imagination
Yeah,
and no motor skills.
exactly. Exactly.
And that's why you work, and that's why you do, and that's why you
Right.
continue to invent, and
Right.
you
Because
continue to
because then it
test.
becomes, then it becomes craft. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
And don't let the world beat your ass to the point where you don't have any creativity left.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So that's where the skills come into play. But that's another thing. It's like a lot of these cats, they don't want to put the time in. They don't want to develop the skills, right? They
Yeah.
wanna
Nobody wants to be terrible.
right.
But when you start anything, when you started walking, you were terrible.
At it. Terrible.
But you kept at it.
Right. Until you kept at it, until one day, I mean, first of all, you were able to grab like that table, and you able to do some furniture walking, and then one day you got brave enough
All of a sudden, you're
to walk
in the
on
Olympics.
legs and stuff like that, figuring that,
Yeah.
getting the balance down, and
Yeah.
next thing you know,
You think Usain Bolt came sprinting out of the womb?
right, right.
He might have been quick. I don't know. I wasn't there, but he might have been a quick delivery, but that man did not run out.
Exactly, exactly. One of the analogies that I make um, with the comic book industry is that it's a lot like wrestling. You gotta
Yeah.
love that shit. It's a lot like professional wrestling. You have to
Mm-hmm.
love that shit, because it's like everybody's story is the same. It doesn't matter if you're Stone Cold, Steve Austin. Doesn't matter if you were The Rock. It doesn't matter if you were, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Doesn't matter if you were Trish Stratus. Like everybody started out the same. Broke as
Yeah.
fuck. You know what I'm
And
saying?
terrible.
Terrible. Scrimpting, saving. You know what I mean? Because you loved it,
Right.
right? Because you
Right.
loved it, because you desired it, and
Right.
nothing was gonna stop you from that. And that's the
Yeah.
same thing, like being an artist. That's the same thing, being a creator. Being a creative anything, there is no cheat code. There
Yeah.
is no cheat code.
You have to put in the work.
You have to put in the work, and you have to love it. You can't like it. You have to love it,
Yeah.
if you want any career in this. And the thing is, if you're coming in to get rich quick off of this shit, you would pick the absolute worst hustle to try and do that.
Listen.
You might as well go and try and sell fentanyl. Because
You
because
Or go buy some scratchy tickets.
You know what I'm saying?
Go test your luck over there doing
Right.
that.
Because if you're trying to come in and, and again, seeing those janky hustles of like people trying to get people in it, it's like, you do this, be rich. Like,
Yeah.
remember a couple years ago, like some guys were trying to start an AI comic book company and they had Colin Kaepernick trying to talk to people about that. I'm like, Colin, what are you doing, man? Colin, what are you doing? Like, this shit is not going to fly at all in the slide. No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, no.
Yeah.
This is again, you have to love the stuff. You have to have skin in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like people
You have to invest. It's the same as everything. You're not going to walk into a fully developed corporation.
exactly.
You have to start small business.
Exactly. Exactly. And because people, they want to be Stanley. It's like, Stanley wrote shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Stanley wrote shit.
Yeah.
And also, this is another myth that I'm going to dispel about the comic industry as well, is that no one is stinking rich off of this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless you're the owner. Unless it blows up and you're the owner.
even then, I mean, okay, so yeah, I mean, like for example, Eastman and Laird are rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they struck at the right time. They were pioneers of the shit, and then the toys and the cartoons like, hey, we like those turtles. You know, I mean Mignola with Hellboy, he did really well. I mean Frank Miller with Sin City. It's like with these guys I'm talking about, they're all indie.
Mm-hmm.
And they all own their property, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with that being said, like, or the Image guys, they were rolling it though, the original seven.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that money fades. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the next gig, the next project, right? Same thing with Hollywood. It's like the reason why, for instance, Samuel L. Jackson or Tom Cruise needs to have that blockbuster movie is because they got blockbuster bills. Them islands ain't gonna pay for themselves. You know what I mean? Them yachts ain't gonna pay for themselves, right? They put themselves in a situation like shit. I have to make 350 million this year. Shit. Like
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Surrey got boarding school. Shit. It's like, God damn. You know what I mean? Like Consuela got to put her girls through college. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, let me tell you my Tom Cruise story.
okay.
When I was in LA,
Mm-hmm.
I working in Hollywood, I built Tom Cruise's website,
Okay.
and it was in Flash, and it was so dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that no one was gonna believe me that I built it.
Gotcha.
And so I did a thing where if you typed my name,
Mm-hmm.
my picture would show up. It would take over for the mouse, and my picture would show up.
Uh-huh.
And for years they've changed this since then. But for years, I was telling people, "Oh yeah, I built Tom Cruise's website." They're like, "Man, fuck out
Like
of here, you liar!"
lying.
Tappity tap tap tap, and my picture like this. Yeah, yeah.
Word. Yeah.
There's a handful of people out there that know.
Well,
They've seen it.
sometimes you gotta let them know, especially if it was a flash site back in the day. Wow.
Son, it was so dope.
Right on.
You'd go in and it'd be playing music from the films. And then you can go and you see his videography. You can see clips of the movies, and you can interact and everything. Man, it was so dope. It was so dope.
Right on.
I was like, nobody's gonna believe me.
Nobody. You're like,
And nobody did until I showed them.
yeah. And then there it is. And then
And then there it is.
and now what? What? What you gonna do? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spike the football.
Right.
And we leave.
You might drop the mic. Yeah. So.
Do you have time to keep going?
A little bit. And what time is it?
Or we can have you come back on. Like, this is an open invitation. It don't even have to be. You can come. Just keep checking in with me.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
I do have to get going and doing some stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, I got
Okay.
a few more minutes.
Yeah, let's do that. Because now that the ice is broken, that's it. I'm gonna keep having you on.
Oh, okay.
Because this is fun.
You're right up.
Or maybe even. Ooh, you know what I'll do?
Okay.
I'll set up a round table where you, me, Dawood hang out together.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
Work. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let me get the wheels rolling on that.
Me, Dawood, and Plug, because that would be cool. That would be like a
Okay.
like hip hop and comics and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap this one up. This was such a good nostalgia. Boy, you filled my cup today.
Same here, man.
I feel so good. I'm glad that it seems like things are moving in the right direction. I love that you're still doing what you're doing, what you were meant to do.
Yeah, I can't do anything but not at this stage of the game. It's kind of a little late to like, hey, was I supposed to do that? I don't know if I'm going the right path. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the path gets dark. Not dark. Dark is it's a sad way of saying it. Sometimes the path it gets overgrown.
Yeah.
But you just have to bust through those limbs.
Yeah, that's what you have a machete for. That's what those are for.
That's it. Jiba, as always, I love talking to you.
Always a pleasure, man.
I love catching up with you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Let folks know that are watching this video, let them know where they can find you online.
Okay. So definitely, first of all, you can find me at the Griot Enterprises website. That's GRIOT Enterprises.com. All one word, all lowercase. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find it the Griot Enterprises webpage on Facebook, or you can find me, Jiba Anderson, on Facebook. I am Jazz Intellect. That's JAZINTELLECT on Instagram. Okay, so you can find me there as well. But if you go to the Griot Enterprises website, that's kind of like the hub where you can check me out. Also, I don't know when this is going to air, but we got 2 days left in the Kickstarter campaign for the Horsemen Divine Intervention #1, the deluxe edition, 100 pages of goodness. And I'm looking for 7 other backers right now, at least 7 other backers right now, even though it's fully funded. But if you want to, see where the new mythology began and where it's going, you can pick that up. All right.
Excellent. And there's a link to it on your website, on the Griot Enterprises website.
I didn't. Just go to Kickstarter. Go to Kickstarter, type in the Horsemen.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do for this video is send me the link and I'll put it in the description.
Perfect. I will do that as soon as we get off. I will message you that joint.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
And with that, everybody, we are out.
Peace. All right.
Coconut Justice.